Yeah, good morning. My name is Nanna Meyer. I'm a faculty here at the University of Colorado, Colorado Springs, and we're streaming and hosting this public forum from the Hibble Sports Medicine and Performance Center. This is our grain school test kitchen. And this is the second public forum, and we're focusing on whole grains and particularly on health and nutrition for this second forum. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge where we are. So bear with me, I'm going to share my screen. Just some introductory remarks that are important. Acknowledgement of land expresses the gratitude and the honor that we feel as we are here on Indigenous land. So we acknowledge the land's longer history as well as its significance for the Indigenous people who have lived here and continue to live here, and whose practices and spiritualities were tied to the land and continue to develop in relation to the land. We want to acknowledge that we live, work, learn, and grow on the traditional land of the Ute, Cheyenne, Arapaho, Jicarilla, Apache, Pawnee, Kiowa, Osage, and Lakota. We want to honor with gratitude the land and the people who have stewarded both throughout generations. This calls us to commit to continuing to learn how to be better stewards of this land and its cultural heritage. This is an adaptation from my colleagues here, Woodchurch and Larkin. If you're interested in looking at where you're at and your Indigenous lands, you can go to nativeland.ca. It's important for us to acknowledge land, but it's also important to note that in our work with Grain School, we extend and we want to find solutions in seed sovereignty and working with Indigenous people to find pathways forward so we can share in gratitude and in reciprocity. So usually, this public forum is our outreach of Grain School, outreach to the public, outreach to the community. And usually we also dedicate it to someone who passed on. This time, I would like to dedicate this forum on health and nutrition to the many lives lost due to COVID-19. May good health return to all communities, and may both personal and planetary health regenerate through healthier eating practices. There's a lot we have to do with grain, and these seeds are treasures, so we could perhaps think of them as we're going into the spring and planting our gardens, that with each seed we plant a better future and reflect on the lives lost and regenerate not only the soil and the planetary frameworks, but also our own human health and those of our communities. Grain School this year is different. We are online this year with 3 courses, short courses and an academic course. And each short course is framed with a public forum. We are in course 2 now. We started it last Thursday, and our forum 2 is today. And this year, we really want to take time to learn more because there is just such a broad knowledge to be gained from the world of grains. And we want to learn, experiment, diversify, collaborate, and celebrate. Grain School wouldn't be possible without sponsors, so we'd like to acknowledge our sponsors, Whole Foods Market and Rocky Mountain Farmers Union, for this year. And Grain School would never live without the expertise that we are bringing together and every year graciously receive from the many speakers that we have in Grain School. And this is not different today. The faculty come from about 4 or 5 different countries, so I'm going to welcome them in Finnish, tervetuloa, to our Finnish friends. We will learn a lot about rye. Benvenuti to Italy. We will learn about the combination fermentation of legumes and grains together. Wan Ying in China, we'd like to learn from Yan Lam around the microbiome. And bienvenida and bienvenido to our Mexican friends learning about corn. And then, of course, welcome to all of us who speak English and who are from maybe different continents too. Diversity is important for grain school. So I also wanted to mention that we are extending online work with hands-on learning, and that can never be replaced, as we'll learn a little bit more about today. But who is hosting? Well, it's Sean Svette, my colleague and partner in crime for Grains on campus. Sean is the host with me at the University of Colorado Springs. And we are really honored to co-host this forum with the Bread Lab. And so I'm gonna pass a few words to Dr. Stephen Jones from the Bread Lab, Washington State University.
Thank you, Nanna. It's an honor to co-host with you here in the Bread Lab. We've been working with Nanna and her program for several years. Mary Metcalf, who you'll hear from later, did her master's degree with Nanna, and she's doing her PhD here in our lab as well. So again, it's just an honor to work with Nanna. It's an honor to work with everyone, all the speakers today, and thank you all for tuning in, and I think we have a really great day ahead of us. So thank you and welcome.